Okay, so this is my first attempt of streaming uh, how I study Python for everybody from Dr. Chuck. And then the reason why I'm doing this is because potentially I can, focus more. The fact that I'm recording kind of ensures some level of focus, and also I have the chance to really actually speak to myself, which is, it's another form of learning. If you literally out loud you can say it, it's gonna definitely help. And I only have 43 minutes now because I will have an interview after that. So let's see. I wanted to start this yesterday, but I had the mental breakdown quite severely. So now we are before the mental breakdown. It should happen in like 2 hours. It's 9:30 now, so 10:30, 11:30 I will have the mental breakdown. So I think after the interview I will try to return and continue and maybe capture it in real time. But for now, let's see. So I started this again, like my first attempt, because I was doing Python on and off. I mean, I couldn't really say I was doing it. Yeah, I'm dropping frames. I don't think this laptop is actually capable enough for streaming, to be honest. Because, yeah. But I have here my big PC. I put it here during Christmas. I brought it here from the living room to the bedroom because I specifically for this reason that I wanna stream. And yeah, and I think of course obviously it's gonna be more capable than this laptop here. So that should be the next step, to just fucking use the lab for the PC, I guess. But anyway, so let's focus. Let's focus on Python itself. So I started it, the last attempt, or let's say the new attempt started on the basically on Christmas, right? My mom was here, 24th. So even the calendar takes some time to open. So yeah, exactly. It was during Christmas time, so 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. And since then, I just had this on and off. So I had this, simple tasks, which I was like. So what I realized that um, when there's an example or not example, but how do you call these? Exercise. When you have an exercise and you really try to, when it's interactive, it's actually, gives you some level of control, or like, it does this fizzy stuff in your brain, which is nice. But when you have the terms, when you have all of these, basic ideas, and you read them through, it's just, I'm the first time I got, I've experienced already the burning out part of this, is that I am not sure how much I actually should take notes, because in the beginning, and I should actually show my OneNote, definitely. 100% this laptop is not good for streaming, because look at this shit, it's crazy. Brzihalice. Um, so why is it not here actually? I have no idea. idea. See, now again, I completely lost it because I have no idea what's going on. Like, where is it? Where is... because it's under Gergely's notebook. Sorry, my bad. Come on, open you. So this is one of the effect of the medicine, which I noticed, of Ritalin, is that I get the stuffy nose. See, one day before Christmas I started again. The progress. So I started the book, and of course at the beginning I just started to, note anything, try to just make it, keywords, key phrases and new terms, and just write them down, and the progress. And I believe really this is the way to learn, because at least you as you read through, you have that level of interaction, and when you continue, when you're doing your exercises, it does come up. And so that's what I did at the beginning. But then as I continue, I think really my ADHD brain or whatever just gets bored, or gets like, I don't wanna fucking write down everything. So I try to continue without notes, and then I get overwhelmed, and then I start to question my actual desire, and if I really want to do this, if I really do, and then I lose control, I lose absolutely everything, and then I end up doing nothing. So I think, what would be great, to just follow these steps, because you need notes. There's no way around this. And don't note anything, just note. So you can go back. That's the thing. Let's go back to the point where I stopped making notes, and just follow the book from there. So I should actually share somehow what happens if I just do this. Nothing. I should also share my OneNote. Window capture. It's actually, it's a joke how slow this laptop now is. Where is it? I don't see it. Where are you, bitch? I don't see it. And so this is the first time I immediately feel the confusion. Like, what am I doing? What's the point? Is there even a point to any of this? Anyway. So I'm just gonna narrate. I'm gonna read. And that's the best. I literally just tried to share the fucking OneNote, and it doesn't show up. Also, really, the fact to don't get too caught up in the... So for example, logical operators. For example, here's the logical operators, and I was in the 42 school, and I remember I was like completely stuck there, like that, because I just cannot think outside of like, these are all good new terms to me, and to actually solve problems using these logical operators, it's just such a new term for me, and I have the doubt if I'm actually capable of doing this. But you have the book here, you have the material. So I think what should be like acceptable and reasonable is, take the material which is written here, try to internalize it, but don't, end up losing yourself in loopholes of, trying to research more and more and more about the same, because then it's gonna be endless. Then it's again burning out. So take what you can from the book, really internalize each step before moving on to the next exercise, and then yeah, continue. And just specifically there will be the math part. Of course, that's complete Chinese to me. So what I've wrote down so far, I'm gonna read my own notes. So we have variables, expressions, and statements. And how much time? I have 33 minutes. An assigned statement can create new variables and give them values. So this is something we absolutely do know, that where is my shit? Okay, anyway. That here we're gonna make Celsius into, and even Visual VS Code is helping us. We're gonna make it into a variable. This is the key. We know this. And then the variable can have a type of integer, string, or float. The statement is an expression statement or assignment statement. So what's the difference? Would you be able to even tell me what's the difference between? It's here actually. I'm gonna move it here. We have reserved words, and reserved words actually, this is something we have to like truly memorize. I can open it here. Like this is your major scale, if we wanna look at it, or something which is, something you're gonna have to use. Already like which we already use, like and is a logical operator, but it's also reserved word. So reserved words can be logical operators, or something which is already has a, I'm not sure if there can be even functions, but else. Operators and operands. Operators are special symbols that represent computations like addition and multiplication. The values the operator is applied are called operands. Let me just go back. I have no idea what the fuck is going on. I should bring some water. A statement is a unit of code that the Python interpreter can execute. We have seen two kinds of statements, print being an expression statement and assignment. So print, for example, print. Yeah. So operators and operands. Operators are special symbols, blah, blah, blah. So here, for example, exponentiation. I had no idea what that means. So I had to research it a little bit. And I even actually did a little extra notebook, which is, you know, it's basically raised to the power, raised to the, but all of these mathematical terms are really unknown. Like I have zero experience with them. So I'm really wondering if later on, if this is gonna be a problem and if I should just, you know, do something regarding, because really blank state regarding math. This is absolutely a blank state of mine. And so in my notes, for some reason, yes, okay, so this is fine. So operators and operands. So we have the plus, we have the subtraction, multiplication, division, and exponentiations. This is fine. I have it here all written down. Then we have expressions. An expression is a combination of values, variables, and operators. A value all by itself is considered an expression, and so is a variable. So the following are all legal expressions, assuming that the variable x has been assigned a value. If you type an expression in interactive mode, the interpreter evaluates it and displays the result. But in a script, an expression all by itself doesn't do anything. This is a common source of confusion for beginners. We don't give a shit. So this is also something I wrote down and kind of memorized very well because PEMDAS. It's a mnemonics, right? It should be. It's a mnemonics to remember PEMDAS because it means you have parentheses, exponentiation, multiplication and division, addition, subtraction. Subtraction. Oh shit. Yeah. So this is basically the order of how everything is gonna be. So, and this is actually useful for me because it means that, you know, this is actually, it's against, or it's a different kind of rules than math, than basic math. Because if it would be like 2 times 6, 2 times 3, which is 6, minus 1, it would be 5. But because this is something which we're gonna do first, you don't even see my mouse. That's amazing. Okay. So this is also like pisses me off. Okay, no, you should see my mouse. I see my mouse. Never mind. So yes, it's gonna be 4. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Okay, we know all of this. Then the modulus operator. The modulus operator is also something which I remember from 42. Because, yes, it's basically the remainder. And the modulus operator is actually something which I used by myself in one of the exercises. Which was... Yeah, here. Because we had an exercise where we had to like get the remainder of working hours and to check the overtime. But this took me like incredible long time to actually like just to get the math right, like to get the proper. But anyway, the point is we have to look for these kind of feelings when you have these aha moments and get more and more and more, and then later on, you know, if you stick by it, maybe something good comes out of it. But I'm jumping between topics very much. It's crazy. Anyway, I'm just gonna continue the book. So yes, modulus operator is percentage sign and you're gonna get the remainder. And the quotient is like how many times the 3 is in the 7. So the modulus operator turns out to be surprisingly useful. For example, you can check whether one number is divisible by another. If x remainder epsilon is 0, then x is divisible by epsilon. You can also extract the rightmost digit or digits from a number. For example, x remainder 10 yields the rightmost digit of x in base. What? See, I'm already losing track. You can also extract the rightmost digit or digits from a number. For example, x remainder 10 yields the rightmost digit of x in base 10. Similarly, x remainder 100 yields the last 2 digits. The plus operator works with strings, but it is not addition in the mathematical sense. Instead, it performs concentration, which means joining the strings rather than linking them end to end. Oh, okay. Everything is gonna be fine. The only way to go from here is up, hopefully. The plus operator with strings works. The plus operator works with strings, but it is not addition in the mathematical sense. Instead, it performs concentration, which means joining the strings by linking them end to end. String operations. So here in my notes, I only put just plus and like plus and star. But we can even, you know. So what I wanna work on also is to make more clear notes, like more reasonable notes, because this is where I get lost if I just start to continue the book without actually like making sure that the information sticks. So what is this part is trying to tell me is that instead performs what is this word?
Concatenation. Concatenation.
Concatenation. Concat. Like this cat here. Concatenation. An action of linking things together in a series or in a condition of being linked in such a way. Concatenation. 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 So here I can I really want to include my fucking OneNote. Can I include OneNote, please? How can I include OneNote? Display capture. So I'm gonna just fucking record the first display, which is this one. Perfect. Concatenation, concatenation. We can just put it here for now. I don't know, I guess it's fine. So yes, string operations, it's basically what it's trying to tell me is that I don't need this. Can you not? Why is it like this? How do I undo this part? Very frustrating. Extremely frustrating. I feel like there's a gumboots in my throat. And this is why I'm trying to cough all the time. I don't know why is it doing this with me. Okay, how to disable. It will be so nice to have an AI body. I think this is the future. Definitely we're gonna have these little like the Alexa. I don't know if Alexa actually works like this in this way, but I'm definitely sure we are already there. That you're gonna have these little small devices, and you can just literally ask anything like, "Hey, can you tell me how to disable?" You would have to know what is this, like crossed character. I have no idea what the fuck is going on. Like literally, I have no idea what's going on. But anyway, I pressed something like this, I guess. Not this one. Why are you doing this with me? How to disable this shit? Okay, whatever. So I'm gonna just use some here. String operations. The plus operator works with strings by joining them This is called concatenation. Oh my god, I don't know what's going on. I want to know the keys for I think this is because it's on the this is how it's called. Strike through. So if it's crossed, it's strike through, but I want to make it italic. It's so like because of the stream, the mouse works like crazy slow. Everything works crazy slow. Concatenation. The star. How do we call the star actually? Multiplication. I hope so. Definitely it's called multiplication. Multiplication. The multiplication operator also works with strings by multiplying the content of a string by an integer. For example, okay, all clear. This is clear. We can move on. So asking the user for input. This is something which I really invested in when these, like basically I had free sessions when before this video, where I really like, okay, let's sit down and try this, and I had multiple like attempts and everything, and Jesus. So basically, yeah, I went through this. Let me just try to get back to it. So now I'm gonna show code. So I'm gonna hide this, and I'm gonna alt tab myself to the code. Amazing, brilliant. So we had the first exercise regarding inputs, right? And I think I already like changed it, because you basically you declare the variable. I'm just gonna read it just in case, but this is already kind of makes sense to me, because we would like to take a variable from the user via their keyboard. Python builds a built-in function called input. See, so the input should be already part of the reserved words, right? If we're going by this logic, then it should be a reserved word. No, it's not. So we know now for sure that reserved word doesn't necessarily include functions. Functions are something which are top of this. So input is not a reserved word, but it's like if you wanna, so you can name a variable as an input. This raises this question, right? We can actually test. Because it is a function itself. So let me just make a new file. Can I name my variable as an input and gonna be an input? So yes, it's a variable. It's gonna be a function, and it's yeah. You shouldn't do, I think, the first, like the input itself shouldn't be the same name, I guess. I mean, it can be if I put the quotation marks. So yeah, this is good that we just tested it, because we are more aware about how it works. So input is a function which is built in. It's not a reserved word. Gets an input from the keyboard. And in 42, actually, that was the whole point of the school, that you have these built-in functions, but how you gonna, like, if we follow this book, I guess we're just gonna continue in using them. But if you wanna go deeper, you can create your own functions, and you can recreate these built-in functions by yourself, so you understand even more like how these things work, like how they actually take an input. But we don't want to do that, because we are dropped out from 42, and we just want to finish this book. Basically, that's the thing. This is a personal challenge. This whole personal challenge is for me to just finish this book. It doesn't necessarily mean that this is your life and this is what you have to deal with for the rest of your life. It's just one single book with terms and new ideas which we are trying to understand. We're not trying to be professionals. We're just trying to, we know we have a very good friend who is trying to tell us that, you know, I'm here to help, just go through this book. I have people who can help me. So there's nothing really to be lost at this just by trying to go through this single book. When this function is called, the program stops and waits for the user to type something. When the user presses return or enter, the program resumes and input returns what the user typed as a string. Before getting input from the user, it is a good idea to print a prompt file telling the user what to input. You can pass a string to input to be displayed to the user before pausing for input. Some silly stuff. It's a good idea to prompt the user what to print. You can pass a string. Yeah, exactly. Because if you would just enter it without anything, you would have some issues. I mean, it wouldn't be clear, right? We can even test it. Let's test. So, I'm so sorry. Yes, see? So yeah, if you don't put anything there, but this is like completely obvious, but yeah, it's good that we are testing. We have to test every little shit so the information will stick. So if you don't write anything, it's not gonna be clear that it's gonna ask you something. It's a good idea to prompt. The sequence null, new line, at the end of the prompt represents a new line, which is a special character that causes a line break. That's why the user input appears below the prompt. If you expect the user to type an integer, you can try to convert the return value to int using the int function. So, and this is something which was really fucking with me because I didn't really know, like, so because you can float or make an integer from an input before the question. Like you can make it, you can declare as an integer the answer itself, but not the input. And I thought this is the right way to go about this at first. But after a couple of exercises and with the help of my friend, if you use the try, which we are not there yet, but if you use anything, if you just start everything from the try, you will be able to enter strings or integers as well. Because this is what I had this problem that I don't know, I guess it's not to make sense right now, but yeah, let's not jump ahead, let's just follow. If you expect the user to type an integer, you can try to convert the return value to int using the int function. See? So how do you say int speed? So prompt speed equals prompt. See? So that's the problem, because here it's not really like prompt equals what is. So it says the prompt itself is the question, but it's not the input. And speed is gonna make, the speed is a variable and it's gonna make an input from the prompt. But the prompt itself is just a string. And then the speed, which is making an input from the prompt, is gonna be declared as an integer. And no. Yes, see, exactly. Yeah, I mean, he's trying to do it like in a, yeah, in a beta way, but yeah. It's trying to show you here, but it's actually not the way to go about any of this. It's just trying to show you how it works. Yes, we can leave comments with the hashtag and the idea about like the comments, that you don't want to overdo them. You don't want to comment out like unnecessary things. As long you choosing mnemonics, mnemonic variable names. As long as you follow the simple rules of variable naming and avoid reserved words, you have a lot of choice when you name your variables. In the beginning, this choice can be confusing both when you read a program and when you write your own programs. For example, the following 3 programs are identical in terms of what they accomplish, but very different when you read them and try to understand them. A Python interpreter sees all of these programs exactly the same, but humans see and understand these programs quite differently. Humans will most quickly understand the intent of the second program because the programmer has chosen variable names that reflect the intent regarding what data will be stored in each variable. We call these wisely chosen variable names mnemonic variable names. The mnemonic means memory aid. We choose mnemonic variable names to help us remember why we created the variable in the first place. Like Father Charles goes down and end battles is the list of order of the sharps or the flats, one of these. So see, this is why memory aid is super nice, because this is something, you know, you can use all over the spectrum. While this all sounds great and it is a very good idea to use mnemonic variable names, mnemonic variable names can get in the way of beginning programmers' ability to parse and understand code. This is because beginning programmers have not yet memorized the reserved words. There are only 35 of them. See? What the fuck? See? It's basically telling you should memorize. It's your major scale. Reserved words are your major scale. 100%. So you should memorize them because there are only 35 of them. So you should definitely. So basically I should print out the reserved words. Oh, and sometimes variables with names that are too descriptive start to look like part of the language and not just well-chosen variable names. Take a quick look at the following Python sample code, which loops through some data. We will cover loops soon, but for now, try to just puzzle through what this means. Oh my god, in 12 minutes I will have the interview. I'm so nervous. I'm like super nervous. I'm like extremely nervous. Like literally. It's not even an interview, it's a conversation. It's a conversation only. And it's okay, it's fine. You know, you are showing you're basically declaring your interest in something which is available. And you're acknowledging the facts. You're acknowledging that, you could be ahead where you are, but this is where you're acknowledging where you are right now. You're still showing your interest and your desire to grow, and you are basically just, this is about showing your interest, and if it's feasible to do it now, if it's basically asking questions. Nothing wrong about this. This is absolutely okay. We're gonna do it now. I'm gonna log off now because will have 10 minutes. I don't know if I should log off. The Ritalin should be on the peak in like now, and soon. But this is okay. I mean, this is okay. I feel really, I like that I finally talk to myself, and like I try to really have a conversation about the topic at hand. So I really think this is a good day. And I did this before the school in June. I really did this, and with the guitar, and I think this is like super nice way for me. I think this is working for me, and also I make the video unlisted, so it's not like anybody's gonna watch this. $10:30. We still have 10 minutes, so that's okay. So really, what could be the worst outcome? Like, we don't even have to think about worst outcome, because this is just conversation. This is just, and once everything is done, I'm gonna just continue the stream, and yeah, it's very important. We should continue the stream on this laptop now, because I want to at least get somewhere where we are in a new exercise, because when you have the eventual, the inevitable mental breakdown, which you're gonna have, because this is how the medicine works, as I noticed it. Oh shit. Okay. So the reason, the feeling of, the negative feelings come from not progressing, like feeling the time was wasted, or it's like we are just stuck. And we are not stuck on actual new problems. We are just checking old material. So, and also the idea that I always get I just quickly jump between new things, and never actually like progressing in one thing. Man, I cannot breathe. So yes, what I just wanted to say is that I would love to set up the PC, the desktop PC, because it has more power, and definitely it's gonna be more suitable for streaming, and I'm not gonna have drop frames. But for the time being, after the interview and everything, I should just continue here and go through the material, and let's at least do some new exercises. And once this is done, we can actually, like, you know, like, let's recap what we know so far. Let's do some new exercises, and then we can, once, if you are in the mood, then the next option to do something, it would be to, you know, set up the PC and the streaming, and yeah, that's it. That would be, you know, this is something you can already be satisfied with. So good luck, good luck. I really trust you. I want to trust you. You can do this. Actually, I can just pause, no? Can I just pause? I don't see any options to pause. But there should be an option to pause the stream, I think.